So hi everyone, it's week 8. Thank you guys for coming out even though it's like the second half of like midterm season and stuff. Yeah. We don't really have an icebreaker for now, so yeah, we'll just get straight to the Prezi Workshop itself. So the nice thing about Prezi is it's a way to put presentations online, like through the cloud, and have it available anywhere else. Um, Prezis are nice because it naturally has a more creative element to it than, say, like Google Slides or just a normal PowerPoint or Keynote. And you have some pretty cool built-in templates that make the transitions like look really, really cool and stuff. So we'll sort of just get started on that. It's kind of hard since there's no TV, but we'll try to make the most of it. So like you could just like use like any email, just like create a Prezi account. So you could just use like the email, like whatever your normal email is, and then yeah, like you're just gonna go here to create a new Prezi. And the nice thing about it, yeah, like as I mentioned earlier, is that there are some built-in templates already. So then this makes it like a lot easier to create like a more natural flow chart sort of thing. So initially, I didn't really use templates as much, but then the Prezis didn't come out as nicely as I wanted it to be. But so then I just started really using this a lot, and I felt the presentations got a lot better than they were last year. So then, yeah, these built-in templates are very, very good. So this week's theme is Carnival because of Mardi Gras. So I'll try to find like something that'll fit that. The nice thing is, yeah, you could search like the popular templates as well. Oh wait, no, I don't want that. Sorry. Yeah, so there's like a bunch of built-in templates if you click more. So let's try to find one that'll fit the theme. It should ideally be very, very colorful. I don't know if there's any that fit here. Maybe this one. What do you guys think? Ideally one that should be like colorful, really like colorful and flamboyant. Oh, yeah, this one's kind of hard.
Mobility, I don't know. They're kind of single colors.
Yeah. All right, I'll just pick one of these. I guess we could maybe like something like this for now. Like this will do. Like basically any of these templates like just are already built in, so they have like a lot of the layers already built in, so you don't have to add anything on top of it. So usually what I try to do, especially like for the actual Prezis for GMs, is really look at the agenda first off. So for whoever's going to be like the next tech chair for next term, each week you have a general meeting agenda, and each of the chairs is supposed to ideally fill it out beforehand. So right now, usually it takes a while for them to fill it out. So I usually don't do it until like the night before, and right now it's kind of empty. So I'll just get started on a basic one, and then I'll show you the one I did like the week before, just so it's like easier to see everything. All right. So usually the formats, like you would have an introduction of guests, sometimes an icebreaker, past events, and then you would have like the upcoming like club events, like from service, fundraising, like yeah, MDeer, KFAM, PR, fellowship, and then this is sort of like just how it's organized. So I would think of it in terms of that. So right now, what I usually do is I just create like the generic slides that are always there, like introduction of guest, which is like just a pretty straightforward one, and then like past events as well. So let's get started on that. Yeah, so normally, yeah, it's pretty intuitive. It's like just like a drag and drop process. And then you have a slider on the left side, which just shows you the order at which the presentation is run. So I'm just going to move this towards the top. I have actually the image of the banner of the theme. So I normally just go to like downloads, arrange it by date. Okay, so it should be this one. So it's just like a drag and drop process. It's pretty intuitive. And once you drag things in, if you want to add it to your actual presentation itself, you just hit edit path, and then you just click this, and then just drag it to wherever you want it to be. So normally just have this at the top. And then if you just want to see how it's getting presented, you just hit this button over here. And it just goes in order of the presentation. All right, so we'll get started by saying introduction of guests here. Changes to title. Yeah, so the other thing is for built-in templates, they already have pretty nice fonts for you, so it doesn't like really clash with how visible the text is. So like in the past, like when I first started, it was a lot harder because I would try to just like import like a custom background, and sometimes it wouldn't look so clean. But ever since I started using templates, it's easier for people to read it, I think. So that's been one major improvement, I think. Yeah, and then we have past events.
So it automatically changes your font once you type in it.
Yeah, yeah.
What if you copy and paste the text box from the past version?
It matches the font of your theme. So if I do, let's say, icebreaker over here, edit. Oh, dang, it's killing my battery. Okay. Yeah, so if I just copy this text, right, it just preserves your current theme's font. So that's the nice thing about it. Like if you have slides that from a previous Prezi, you could just like literally copy and paste the whole thing. So I was planning on actually using the LA Hacks one from last week. So I could just literally copy and paste this entire slide. So just highlight that. Command C in Mac or Control C in PC, and you would just paste it in. And this actually saves a lot of time. Boom, there we go. So just add that in there, and don't forget to add it to edit path, because like sometimes it'll just show up there, but it won't be in the actual presentation itself. Yeah, yeah. So then you can just move this around from there. Yeah, so let's move that here for now. Yeah, so I'll show you guys an example of like just adding some content itself. So usually what I try to do is I put it in a rectangular frame. So this is like an overarching box for like inner events. Like for service, I would put some circular frames inside and then put the service events in there. Since I currently don't have any, I could just show you an example using the previous GM's service events. So I normally try to do something like this. Prezi shows like how it gets lined up. So you can just like see these little lines over here. And that's sort of like just making sure everything's like centered like horizontally and vertically. So for example, okay, that's kind of bad, sorry. Shrink this down. All right, and then we'll just put something like at the top for now. Like, let's say like service in general. Make that a little bit bigger. what you could do is, yeah, just add the content from here. So normally, I feel like images are the ones that really get people's attention first, like in any presentation. Like, it's a lot easier to look at images versus like a huge block of text. So that's like sort of the focal point of a good presentation, in my opinion. Oh, that's expired. Okay. So what I normally like to do is, normally what the other chairs do is they send a link to something like Canva or just like or a Google Drive link to an image, or they directly upload the image itself. So if it was through Canva or through Google Drive, I would just download it and just upload it from my downloads folder. Or if they just upload it like this, what I normally do is I just screenshot it because it's a lot easier to just like get the image from here. The other thing is you could probably just copy and paste it as well, like Command C or Control C in Windows, and just paste it into your Prezi. So like, if I want to do this, it should show up. Oh, there we go. Sometimes it takes a while, but yeah, I just did Command V, and then just paste it in like that. So I normally try to put the image itself in first, because this is like the center point of everything else. And normally what the other chairs do is they provide like a short little blurb of like where the location is, like when the event is happening and what the event is about. So then it's normally already included in the agenda, so it's just like a very quick like copy and paste. Okay, that was kind of a bad example, but for example, if I did this instead, let's do the screenshot method actually. So you can just delete this by clicking on the image and deleting from here, hitting the delete button. And then at the top, you can insert like a bunch of different things like images, YouTube videos, and files. So normally those are the three main ones I use. Like images, for the most part, like just to show like whatever PNG or JPEG file it is. Usually if there's like a YouTube video, that's where this comes in handy, and you just paste a link to the YouTube video itself. Or you could upload like a actual file. So this is like what we did, like Angeli and I did last quarter for member of the quarter and things like that. So then I would just save it directly onto my hard drive itself, and then just upload it through there. So yeah, we're going to insert the image first. Go to desktop because that's where the screenshot is. So it's actually a pretty quick and intuitive process. Like it's literally just like a normal upload you would see in other programs. All right. So once you have the actual image itself, it's just like a matter of like adding in the title, making sure everything fits in here. So it's what I really like to do a lot is just like using the plus and the minus because it scales proportionally. If you were to do it like this, it sort of like, sorry, bad example. If I do this, it sort of like just throws off like the alignment and stuff. So instead, what I prefer to do is, yeah, just do everything proportionally like that. So then you could scale it up, scale it down, and then just move it around. So this makes it like a lot easier to place things inside like whatever container you have. So that's the title there. And then you would just add like the other information like who, what, where, when, why, things like that. So okay, so actually let's fit this in, scale it down, and then just put that in there. And then normally I try to like go into the frame itself and just see how it'll look when you're presenting it. So this one, it's a little bit hard to read because the text is a little bit smaller. So you could offset that by making this a bit larger as well, and then also just scaling this out like that. If you scale like diagonally, it preserves alignment, so that's another thing you could do. Just moving this up. Yeah, it's important to things like visible, like so then it's easier to read. So then if we actually go into this, you could tap to zoom in and things like that. So the other useful thing, like so then you could pretty much apply this to almost any event. Like if you're displaying like a service event, fundraising event, like it's pretty standard like this. But what if you're trying to do something like the like for example the member of the weeks, like you want to hide certain parts before showing it to the audience. The way you would do that is you would go to edit path, and then what you would do is you would go over to like one of these sidebars and click this sort of star button over here. And then you could create like an animation through there. So for now, I just like have an arbitrary image that I'm gonna just upload real quick. Credit to Mike for the great graphic. Yeah, it's just a temporary proof of concept. So what you could do is, for example, like I don't know, X, Y, Z. So you have like a bunch of like different content in here, right? If you want to do like the animations that it just hides at the beginning and then displays it once you prompt it, what you do is you would click this star icon over here, and then order it in the order that you want the animation to pop up. So in this case, I want the fade in to get applied to the photo first, and then to my name, for example. And then the nice thing is that there's a little preview up here, so then you can just sort of see like like how the animation would actually look. So then you would basically just apply this to like everything for all the animation effects. And the way you would test like the entire thing at the end is like you would just go to present, just sort of see like how the presentation itself just like flows through. So we have just these events, for example.
So it's not that hard to pick up.
Yeah.
It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's pretty intuitive.
It's like a PowerPoint with more motion.
Yeah. Because PowerPoints is sort of like it's just like screen by screen. Like there's not as much like dynamic to it. Like with the Prezi, the nice thing about it is like you could actually just it's a lot more visual in my opinion. Like just being able to see how like everything transitions to each other. And it's nice to have it just like in one format you could access on the cloud. So then you could just like share the link to whoever and then just access it whenever you want. So actually, let me show you guys the example of like uploading like a YouTube video. It's pretty straightforward though. So here's the recap video sneak preview. And my battery is gonna die, unfortunately. But real quick, if you want to upload the video, what you would do is go to YouTube video, paste the link here, insert, and that's the nice thing. It just pops up fairly quickly, and what you're going to do is you're going to add it to your edit path, and then it'll just show up from here. And then you can just play it inside, and it'll hopefully have sound.
A big struggle I had when I was using Prezi. Sound was
Yeah, it's very hard. Like the hard thing about it is like syncing it sometimes with like whatever audio speaker you're using. So in Bolter, it's connected in that room itself, and like just whenever you're adding like auxiliary, it's a lot harder to combine. But like just like normal, if you're doing it normally on your laptop, it should normally be fine. But it's just something to be aware of if you're connecting to like a sound system like for like whatever room you're presenting, like Bolter or Kinsey or Franz. Yeah. So that's that. So I guess like we could go over like a previous Prezi just to like show the dynamic of it. It's sort of like pretty much this format. You would have generally the overarching design of it itself. You would have the intro banner you would see on the Facebook event, introduction of guests, icebreaker if necessary, and then you'll sort of go into each of the committees: service, fundraising, um, PR, KFAM, MDIR, and fellowship. So it would just like flow in this order. It's pretty much in that format. Yeah, the nice thing about especially using like frames is like whenever you put something inside, it just orders it implicitly for you. Because like as you guys saw earlier, if I were to just like keep adding arbitrary new content, it gets sort of like placed at the end, and you have to move it like to the front constantly. It gets sort of annoying after a while. If you put it inside a frame, then everything goes immediately after that original frame. So then that's like sort of, it just makes it easier to create the Prezi from there. Yeah, and then like if we go over here, we have the animation effect. All right, sorry, actually, it's quite far in advance. Yeah, here we go. You would have the animation effect here. Credit to Jong for the great caption.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
She.
And then you would have, yeah, the effects there. And then normally, yeah, you'll show next week's theme at the very end, and then have like the animation pop up here. So yeah, it's nice to play around with all these effects. I haven't fully tried actually all of the Prezi effects. Like I'm sure there are other cool ones, but those are for the most part what you need to create. For example, like the GM Prezis, as well as like the ones we've been doing for workshops. And the functionality itself, like it's not too difficult to pick up, as you guys see. It's just a matter of it just might take a little bit of time at first, but then after you get used to it, like it just flows very smoothly. And my battery's at 1%. Right, so let's save that.
Do you need to use Prezi?
I'm good. Like I don't have anything else.